Slide on no bed, now I'm feeling like Venom. I told her kick it, back him, squeezing a Mac, lemons. Walk down, boy, got him booking a reverend. Oh, girl, miss me, she jealous. 762 flying out of the Lexus. Bourbon at dinner, he going by breakfast. That boy shooting full big taxes. Hey, Manny.
Wow. What an intro. That went way harder than I thought it would. And for everyone who didn't know, that was Bitcoin by Young Manny. Good song for this pod, I thought, for obvious reasons. We'll play around with it in future episodes. But anyway, hello everyone. My name is Ben Frijan. I'm the president of Blockchain at Brown. And I'm so excited to introduce the Blockchain at Brown podcast. Blockchain at Brown is Brown University's student-run blockchain club, and this year we launched a host of new initiatives to boost blockchain development on campus. One of our most exciting new projects is this podcast, where I'll be interviewing some of the most interesting figures working in blockchain. Episodes will include profiles of founders and their entrepreneurial journeys, discussions of the latest crypto news, technical deep dives, macro trends, advice for current students interested in crypto, and so much more. So subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BrownUCrypto. Our first episode is with David Scherrer, who is Brown class of 2021 and has an NFT startup called College Cards, which lets college athletes mint their own player card collections as NFTs. David's an awesome guy. We had a great conversation, and I think he has a really cool idea that combines two of my favorite things, NFTs and college sports. So without further ado, let's get into my conversation with David. David Scherrer, our first ever guest. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Happy to be here, Ben. Thank you for bringing blockchain to Brown.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So let's get started with where are you from and what drew you to Brown?
I'm from Virginia Beach, and I was recruited to run track at Brown. I like the team. I like the open curriculum, but to be honest, one of the assistant coaches was into spearfishing, and on my official visit, I was talking to him about spearfishing in Newport, and I was from then on hooked. So
that's awesome. Yeah. What were your events in track?
I ran the 800 and 1500, the mile.
So the hardest ones.
That's right. Yeah. Mid distance and I guess shorter distance. I get thrown into cross country and have to bear through 8K, 10K, which were brutal.
I did track in high school as well, but I was a thrower. So we didn't have to do the conditioning with the rest of the team. It was a much more enjoyable experience, I think. But
completely different event group.
So what were some of your favorite classes when you were at Brown?
Ooh, okay. Game theory. I took game theory with Serrano. Just a fascinating way to look at the world, and taught by just an absolute expert in the field. And Serrano, so he's blind, and he had memorized the payoff matrices for all the problems for class. It was truly impressive the way that he taught the course.
Awesome. Okay. And so when you think back to your time at Brown, what's a story that comes to mind that it doesn't have to be crypto related, but just what's the first story that comes to mind?
So one is the men's track team was cut in 2020, and a very fitting, I feel, Brown story is the men's track team, aided by the women's track team, brought it back. We were reinstated a couple weeks afterwards. We led a student-run campaign with the help of alumni and our peers, and made a ruckus and brought the team back.
That's awesome. I remember that, and I was very supportive of you guys. Yeah, that was a great effort. So what got you into crypto? How did you start in this space?
Okay, so I'm class of 21. I started in 2017, so I was a freshman fall of 2017, and that coincided with the bull run, which took Bitcoin to like 17, 19,000. And at this point, I was a freshman in Keeney. I had just gotten a sweet laptop for college. It had a good graphics card. And I was reading about, what's going on in crypto, all this electricity these miners are spending, and, these crazy GPUs and, ASIC miners, etc. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm in a freshman dorm, electricity's free, and I have the sweet graphics card. Well, let's try it out. Sounds like free money. So watch some YouTube videos, wrote a couple lines of code, and got mining. I would set up my laptop facing away from my bed at night, and for the 8 hours or so, I would make like a couple bucks. Not bad. Coins you've never heard of. I think one was Orbit Coin. It was like Tracer Coin. Man, I think they probably all went to zero. I never actually got any money out of them. Basically scams.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's experiences at first. So
Yeah, you know what though? So I learned I had my lesson in altcoins very early on, and luckily I didn't lose any real money. I mean, I'd made maybe say $50 that went to zero, but luckily not my investments. So good to get that out of the way.
gotcha. So then this is 2017. We enter a bear market in 2018, similar to right now. It's kind of funny. I remember when Bitcoin hit 19,000 when I was in high school, and now we're right back there. So it's funny how these things come full
Yeah,
circle.
a lot of progress, right?
Yeah, you really got to be here for something more than just the chance to make a lot of money. You got to fall in love with the technology. So what was that uh like that turning point for you where you came for you have this computer that can mine these
Right.
altcoins. You don't really know what's going on until you fell in love with blockchain technology and you decided to do a startup in this space.
Right, you hit it spot on. So that was the difference the second time around. That first bull market I was in 2017, once the numbers started going down, I lost interest. And I didn't follow the crypto market for the next few years until the pandemic, that next bull run. But as you say, then at this point, I got very interested in the technology, primarily from an economic uh, framework, because I'd studied economics. I was paying attention to what was going on with the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, the pandemic relief, stimulus checks, etc., and potentially inflation coming down the road. And I was drawn to Bitcoin, and started investigating the technology beyond just Bitcoin and some of the smart contract capabilities of these other L1s. So 2021, this is months after I've been researching crypto just as a personal interest. NIL is passed, name, image, likeness. This is July 2021, which permits college athletes to make money off of their name while they're still athletes, previously not allowed. And shortly thereafter, a few companies sprout up to make NFTs for athletes. They'd pay them a lump sum or a royalty, maybe like 25% is what we're seeing as sort of industry standard. But knowing some of the capabilities of blockchain, I felt there was definitely a better way to do it. We could really leverage the technology to empower the athletes to do it themselves and be compensated in a far fair manner.
Yeah, I mean that's just one of the great use cases of NFTs. I think is it can empower creators of any kind, whether you're talking about athletes or musicians or artists or anyone who creates content. You're able to collect a lot more of the value of your work. So walk me through the entrepreneurial process that you went through. You had this idea. What was the very first thing that you did in starting College Cards? When did you onboard other people? When did the website go live? Whom were the first people you reached out to?
Great question. So first was idea validation. I guess just bouncing the idea off of others to see if there was any merit to the idea, because you might think your idea is great, right? But first you need confirmation that at least somebody else thinks it's reasonable to pursue it. So luckily, one of the friends I thought to bounce this idea off of was a football player at Michigan State, Big Ten football player, who, is in the locker room with guys who can potentially make real money selling NFTs, right? So he's got an inside scoop on whether this is a feasible business model, right? He thought it was such a good idea. He wanted to join the project, become a part of the team. And so that's when the ball really got rolling. This was I'd say it was like August, September 21. After this, we realized we needed some more technical help because I studied international relations. And so we reached out to another friend of ours who's a software engineer, also a former college athlete, D3 lacrosse, and brought him on board to help with the front end and back end. Now, I taught myself Solidity, and I wrote and deployed our smart contract with a software engineer. He made our website, handled everything on the back end, connecting the website to the smart contract, etc. Now, building this out, the infrastructure for the project out took probably 4 or 5 months or so. It wasn't till March of 22 that we went live. And simultaneously, we're working on I guess you could call it legal hurdles and just generally business requirements, right? So like setting up an LLC and retaining an attorney to write some contracts for the website and terms of sale, etc., things of that nature. But again, we launched in March. So it's a whole process from coming up with the idea to actually launching a minimum viable product that athletes could go to make their own NFTs. That took from September to March.
And you guys were completely bootstrapped, right? Wow, what was that like?
Completely bootstrapped. We brought on an advisor, former college athlete. She played soccer, D1 level, and she had a little bit of business experience. We had a little bit of funding to help pay for legal fees, but outside of that, it was completely bootstrapped, and it was primarily just labor, right? Outside of legal fees, it was just labor. This was during a bull run, so blockchain developers were about $100 an hour. So that's why I taught myself Solidity, and we did it on our own.
So can you walk me through how College Cards works, first from the user experience of an athlete wanting to mint an NFT, and then the technicals on your end?
Okay, Ben. So let's say you're an NCAA athlete and you want to make your own college card, maybe as a keepsake, or maybe you want to sell it, try and make some money. So you might go to our website and you would navigate to Mint to make your NFT, right? But if this is the first time doing it, when you navigate to Mint, it'll prompt you to download MetaMask and to set up your own wallet. Now, there's a tutorial video that walks you through how to do this. It's fairly straightforward. After you've set up your MetaMask wallet, you connect your wallet to the website. Again, all of this is, the website is prompting you to do each of these steps. You connect your wallet to the website, and then the website will prompt you to fill out a survey. In that survey, you tell us your name, your sport, your position, number, hometown, a couple other attributes, relevant to athletics. And you also add your wallet address. This is so that we can approve your wallet to make NFTs in your name and with those properties. And then also some form for us to identify or to verify your identity. So, perhaps a social media account like Instagram or Twitter. On our end, on College Cards end, we approve you, after which, when you connect your wallet to the website, all your info is auto-populated. And when you upload an image, a trading card frame is placed around that image. And on that frame, it'll have your name, your position, and your number. It's a little gold frame. It's got the College Cards logo, name, number, position, like you might see on a cardboard trading card. And then you just click mint. You then have to confirm the transaction in your MetaMask wallet, which is fairly straightforward. Just ask you to confirm, hit confirm, and your NFT is minted. After which you can then sell it on any NFT marketplace like OpenSea. Our website will direct you to OpenSea after you mint your NFT. So that's the process for making your NFT. If you then want to sell it, you just go to OpenSea and you set a price on it, confirm the transaction in your wallet. Now, transaction fees, because we're on Polygon POS, they're minimal. It's a couple cents or fractions of a cent. When we approve your wallet, we send you 0.5 Matic. This is done programmatically through the smart contract. The approve function actually includes a line of code that sends you 0.5 Matic. And College Cards, we just replenish the smart contract with let's say 20 or 30 Matic periodically, so that another 40 or 60 athletes can be onboarded. Now, for the more technical details of what's going on behind the scenes. So again, it's a smart contract that we've deployed to Polygon. And that contract, it doesn't know all the properties of the athlete. It's a simple whitelisting, or call it approve functionality. It only permits whitelisted addresses to make NFTs within the College Cards collection. However, when you make an NFT, the image of that NFT is a placeholder until it's approved by the College Cards team. Now, when we go to approve an image, we see not only the name that the wallet is associated with, but also the name on the card itself. And if those don't match, because let's say maybe you're trying to cheat and you made your NFT outside the website and uploaded it directly to the smart contract, the IPFS URL, right? We would see that on our end. The names wouldn't match. The data wouldn't match. But assuming it matches and the image meets, it doesn't have profanity, etc. It doesn't use marks that are not permissible. We approve it, after which point the image is swapped with the image that you uploaded and the metadata is frozen. So this protects the collector that then buys the NFT. So before the image is swapped, when it's still a placeholder, the smart contract permits a few admin wallets to change the properties of that NFT, right? So I can go in there and change the image. Let's say you pretended to be someone that you're not, right? But once that image is approved, then it's frozen forever. Again, protecting the collector. The collector doesn't have to worry that College Cards will retroactively change the piece that they've purchased. The custody of the NFT is always in the hands of the athlete. It's simply that the admin wallets are permitted to change the properties of the NFT until it is approved. Once it's approved, then the admin really can't do anything. But the custody is always in the hands of the athlete, and the athlete, they can sell the NFT while it's still a placeholder. There's nothing that the admins can do to stop that from happening. But of course, the collector isn't going to purchase a placeholder image.
Gotcha. And then could you go into your revenue model? Like, how does College Cards collect revenue from the minting of these NFTs?
So College Cards collects 10% on the primary sales of the NFTs. Now, we register the collection on OpenSea. So if an athlete sells the NFT on OpenSea, 10% of the sale price is distributed to College Cards. I've also indicated within the smart contract through an EIP standard, it's EIP 2971. It basically, what this does is signal to a marketplace, NFT marketplace that's looking at our contract, what we want our royalties to be and what we want the royalty address to be. And so an NFT marketplace can choose to use this royalties information or not. It's unenforceable. But if they choose to use it, again, as with OpenSea, 10% royalties will go to College Cards. And then we could, for marketplaces that might not yet use this royalty standard, we can also register the collection on those marketplaces as we would on OpenSea.
So it sounds like OpenSea is a huge part of your business model, or at least how you envision it. And I understand you built on Polygon as well. So this is sort of a macro question for blockchain startups or for the future of the blockchain. Do you envision like there being many alt layer ones that all compete with each other? Are we going to have Ethereum as the dominant L1 over everything else, and then most of the competition is on layer 2? Or are we going to have modular blockchains and we're going to see more startups do what DYDX did, sort of like the Cosmos future? You went with, I'll count Polygon as a layer 2, so you basically went with the second option. Can you go into that decision, like why you decided to, first of all, stick with the Ethereum community, and second of all, why you decided to build with Polygon?
Right. So first, I'd say, what vision, I guess, we in future, it's certainly a fascinating thought experiment. Ultimately, we don't have to decide at the moment. We can let the market decide and orient College Cards in the corresponding direction, especially because every year, so every academic year, a new collection is released, and we could obviously deploy smart contracts on different, blockchains over the future. But, to the question why we use Polygon, it's ultimately about user experience. And so the first step in analyzing what would make for the best experience for the user, I'd say, is thinking about who your user is. So our users aren't really a crypto native crowd, right? They're going to be college athletes and maybe fans of college athletes, right? And some might have crypto wallets, but generally our assumption is going to be that they don't. It's also going to be that, they're not going to have, a few ether worth of crypto that they're willing to, spend a little bit on gas fees, right? So transaction fees were a huge consideration. We were building in the 21 bull market, and at that time, I mean, minting or trading an NFT on Ethereum was like $100 to $300. It was really up there. Definitely reasonable to
I
expect.
remember.
I mean, dude, there's no way athletes are paying that, right? No way, broke college athletes are going to pay that.
I started looking at Immutable X and a lot of other very quickly.
Right, exactly. And so Polygon's obviously cheap. There's other cheap blockchains out there though, right? L1s or L2s. Now, another criteria we considered was the NFT purchase experience, for which OpenSea was the best experience out there, we felt. Proven in its, multi-billion-dollar valuation, right? The volume that it's doing, very user-friendly interface, easy to filter through different metadata properties, so you can look at, the sport or position, etc., right? You can look at the activity for a collection, and overall, I think, we can agree, at least the community, it seems, has agreed, is, again, a user-friendly platform. And so, and Polygon was one of the only, what, two or three blockchains that OpenSea had integrated at the time. I know since then it's also added Solana, but and OpenSea also is integrated with MoonPay, and so if you're making a wallet, you might not have funds in that wallet, but if you go to purchase an NFT on OpenSea, you can add a credit card and add funds to your wallet that way, and go right ahead and buy an NFT. So that was a big reason why we use Polygon as well, was that it's on OpenSea.
Yeah, I think that was a very real answer to complicated macro question. But I see all the time for a lot of these alt layer ones in the white paper. It says we're 1,000 times faster in Ethereum, 10,000 times faster in Ethereum. This is our TPS. This is our throughput. But at the end of the day, these communities have gravitational pull, and when you're going through the accepting the risk of doing a startup in the space, you have to follow a community and you have to think about these things like user experience, um, ease of access. I never even thought of that because I've never used MoonPay to purchase crypto, but for somebody who's not crypto native, that could be a game changer in whether or not you enter into this experience or not.
Right, right. They're not thinking about TPS, right? They're just trying to figure out, how do I buy this thing, right?
Gotcha. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much again for coming. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or something that you wanted me to ask you about your experience, about crypto in general, or just about entrepreneurship? Maybe any advice you'd have for current students maybe interested in doing their own crypto startup?
Yes, advice for students would be, get your hands dirty. Okay. If you're out there, scrolling through Twitter, listening to podcasts, reading articles, awesome. Highly recommend it. Good for you. But, it doesn't compare to the invaluable experience you can gain through actually trying to do something yourself, whether that be, set up a miner or make an NFT collection, right? Or build any kind of project, and it might not be successful, right? I don't know that College Cards is going to be successful, but I've sure learned a lot through building it. And I'd highly recommend you do the same. Learned a lot from it.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. David, I think you have a very bright future, and I think College Cards has a very bright future. Keep chopping away, man. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking again soon.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you for bringing blockchain to Brown.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to the first ever Blockchain and Brown podcast. I'm your host, Ben Frijon, telling you to subscribe and look out for our next episode. All right, young Manny, play us out.